One of the hottest areas at CLEO over the past 5 or so years has been the area of nanophotonics. Nanophotonics involves the interaction of light with structures that have dimensions that are significantly smaller than the wavelength of the light. There are 2 subcommittees at CLEO that address the area of nanophotonics. One is a fundamental science area called nano-optics and plasmonics, and the second is a science and innovations subcommittee called micro and nanophotonic devices. The impact of nanophotonics on the CLEO program can be seen in the number of submissions to these 2 subcommittees. In 2012, there were a total of 350 papers that were submitted to those 2 subcommittees, and that's about 15% of the total submissions to the overall conference. This year, one of the plenary talks will be covering a sub-area of nanophotonics. The talk will be given by Dr. Yuri Vlasov of IBM's Watson Research Center, and the talk is entitled Silicon Integrated Nanophotonics, Road from Scientific Explorations to Practical Applications.
There are many very interesting ideas and papers that have been submitted to subcommittees related to science and innovation. So in subcommittee 12, the lightwave communication in optical networks, in this subcommittee, it has seen quite a lot of changes since about 4 or 5 years when coherent communication was developed at these high speeds. So it opened the way to many digital communication techniques that were not available for optical before. So at this year, in 2012, there are many kind of new ideas and innovations related to that. Some of them are on modulation and constellations. Some are on spatial multiplexing, which is an emergent field that is enabled by coherent communication and digital signal processing. And there is also a very high spectral efficiency system that uses Nyquist signal generation. And those are some of the highlights for subcommittee 12, all related to coherent communication. In subcommittee 13, active optical sensing, there was a lot of focus this year on frequency comm generation, and they're used for various applications, remote sensing, and a few others. And the important thing there was to have the high accuracy of the frequency of each comb and to have them very narrow linewidth and make them usable in cheap and usable in environments that are difficult. In subcommittee 11 of SNI, fiber amplifiers, lasers, and devices. So there are many papers. It's the committee that has received the most papers in the conference. Many papers are focusing on 1.8 to 2 micron lasers because they are eye safe and they have many medical and industrial applications. So the focus on tunability, for instance, and on power. There are also lasers at longer wavelength, up to 4 micron and even longer wavelengths. And again, those are applications that are military and medical. And there are also papers in this committee on highly nonlinear fibers that will be compact and as nonlinear as possible to use them to nonlinear processes to do frequency conversion and other nonlinear functions that are useful for various applications. So in the committee 14, the optical metrology, we have many papers, of course, on comm generation, optical comm generation, and for application in astronomy, spectroscopy, clock distribution, and highly calibrated standards. The advances are mostly to have higher accuracy and have also portability and make them smaller and have devices that will be usable in various environments that can be harsh at times. We have 6 symposia for CLEO in 2012, and the flagship symposium is on the 50th anniversary of semiconductor laser. So in 1962, 3 companies developed the semiconductor laser for the first time, and we actually going to have really the pioneers in the field from the early 60s until the mid-80s. That's a rare opportunity to see the pioneers talk about their own work and the work of the atmosphere of discovery that there was at the time with this new field of semiconductor lasers. So it's a very exciting symposium. It has 12 invited talks, and that certainly will be a unique opportunity for people to see these famous researchers.